Yeah, that's not a good thing. It's like the anti sway, but things always strip out. Yeah, already having problems. I know it gives you a low profile, but it's a sucky design. There we go. All right, one thing I noticed when I was working on the hub assembly, I was looking at this upper sway bar, and I can keep my hands out of the way so you can see, but you can see how much play is in that sway bar. Yeah, that's not a good thing. It's like the anti sway bar. I don't think this thing's doing any bit of good. So I'm gonna get this thing out of here. I did pick up a new sway bar link, so I'm gonna get these guys in here. Hopefully that'll straighten out the slop in there. It's going to be a T55 and then a 17 millimeter on the back of it. I really hate these star tees because these things always strip out. They suck. Already having problems. I'll be a little upset if this thing is rusted on there so bad that I'm gonna have to grind it out. I'll tell you what, the design of these little star things, I know Chrysler uses them on brakes and stuff sometimes too. In my opinion, I know it gives you a low profile, but it's a sucky design. In a case like this, I used most of the pressure on the back on the nut and just held it with the star. I didn't try to turn the star. Damn, it's not out yet, and I'll tell you what, man. Ooh, you can hear that thing. Oh, yeah. It is a rough way to go. And I hate when these things strip out, because then you're left cutting them out, and then, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, well, I busted my other T55, so I just went to the store and I bought two more of them. Set me back another 12 bucks for two more sockets. But I bought a 1/2 inch drive this time, maybe a little bit more heavy duty. So go back to trying to get this thing out of here. Problem is I gotta put so much leverage on there. That star has so little engagement. All right, I wound up working at this thing for a while and I wound up getting it out of here, but man, what a nightmare. Seems like it can be a whole lot easier. I'm gonna break this top one loose. I left the bolt in the bottom. This is a 15 millimeter. And this, I hope, comes out without a problem. And hopefully that helps to tighten up things a little bit. I hope anyway. But we'll find out when we take it for a ride. All right, so I was having a little bit of trouble separating this joint. So I put in two Torx just to see if that doesn't. All right, so I decided to switch over to a puller, see if I get it that way. I'm pretty sure this is just gonna slip off in a second and not work, but we'll see. Yep, it slipped off, it didn't break loose. Well, if you ever wonder what kind of struggle these things are, I think you can hear it. Those locking nuts, man. I've got them soaked with penetrator. So clean it up. The other thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pull the whole sway bar out of here. I'm done screwing around trying to separate these joints up here. There's a 15 millimeter bolt on the top of the passenger side. Ugh. This stuff is on there, man. It is no joke. Yeah, and this stuff's just all worn out and beat up, man. It's like, definitely, it wasn't anti-sway bar, and that's for sure. It was just kind of rattling around. All right, I took the cover off to expose the sway bar. You got 15 millimeter bolts, 4 of them on top. I got my impact, and hopefully these guys come out without any issue. The back ones I'm gonna have to mess around with. I don't have a good angle. 15 millimeter wrench. Put it underneath, and I didn't have the scrapes to break it loose, so I had to tap with a hammer a little bit because I'm weak. I don't want to break it loose because the socket touches the body panel there, you can see what's happening as I'm touching the back side of it. That's why I put the tape on there. But now that it's loose, I'm not really too concerned about it. That's what I got the tape there for. Now I can just back the rest of it out. Dug in there, and the sockets definitely, it rubs against the side. So I didn't want to screw up the paint. And if I broke it loose, I would have dented the grill and messed up the paint if I try to break it loose there. As it is already, I'm closer to the paint than I would like to be. Could take this grill all the way out, but man, there's 1, 2, 3 bolts on either side, some bolts across the top. It would take a while to take it out, and to me, this has been enough work already. I don't want to create any extra work for myself. Actually, for a simple project, man, this thing sucks. That's the only word to describe it. So we'll get these things out of here. Once I get these other 2 bolts out, I'll get the controller or the sway bar on the table. And once we get it on the table, then I'll get the ends out. Got the sway bar out of the Jeep. Got it up on a vise and a steel table. I'm going to take a couple whacks at this thing and see if I can't break it free this way now. Does not want to give it up. We shall move to plan B. What's plan B, ask? Don't know. I slipped the pickling fork underneath there, jammed my bars in there nice and tight underneath the pickling fork. So hopefully I can just bring it down and it'll just pop right out of there. There is a smart way to do this. If you get the right pickling fork, just jam it in there and hit it. It should come apart, but that means another trip to the store and more money. Wow, that just was not the funnest thing in the world to do. Wow. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I put a lot of force on there. I don't think a pickling fork would have broke that free. But dang, that was fun. Yeah, I don't know about fun. I'm saying fun and this project are 2 words that have not gone together. This was too easy of a project to have all these kind of problems. There. Second side now. There we go. Out they come. Yeah, I don't think a pickling bar would have got that, man, because I put quite a bit of force on it to knock those out, and they kind of snapped out pretty violently. Just to give you an idea how bad these sway bar links were, look at all the movement in here. That's moving almost a 1/4 inch. That's how bad they were. They're definitely not doing anything at all. And the bushings in the bottom are also pretty much shot too. So anyway, got the new ones. We'll get the new ones on. All right, I'm just torquing the last of the upper sway bar bolts down. 45 foot-pounds or 61 Newton meters. There we go. All right, before I install these, there's a Zerk fitting right there. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in now so I don't have to do that underneath the car. And then it's just a 10 millimeter fitting on there. So I'll tighten that guy up. Once I got him tightened up to where I want him, I'm going to have him face down. That way, if I got it facing down in the vehicle, it'll be easy for me later to go up and grease it. But to save time, I'm going to give it a little shot right now. So here's one of the things I ran into on this bottom bolt to hold the link in is this bolt, the length and stuff, I could not find anywhere. Our local hardware or our local parts stores, auto parts stores don't have this. So I had to order it online. But fortunately, it did come with a new nut. You've seen what I went through to get the old nut off. So against my better judgment, because I'm completely out of time right now and I can't have this thing down for 7 days. So I'm going to put the old one back in for now. At least I got a new nut on it, so I feel pretty confident that I can get it back off. I did clean the threads up really good. I wire wheeled them before I put this together. So I'm going with the old nut. And at one point in time, I'm going to regret this decision, but this is what it is today. And then we've got the new washer that it came with too. That's going to go on the back. I'll start the nut. The bolt is going to get torqued down to 75 foot-pounds or 102 Newton meters. So I'll tell you what, this has been way easier. Then there we go. That's the bottom. The top's going to be 45 foot-pounds or 61 Newton meters. I would definitely torque the bottom before you torque the top. If you start torquing the top, I think you twist this around a little bit, and then when you torque this, you pull it back. So I think it's better to torque the bottom and then the top first. So 45 foot-pounds. All right, now I get the sway bar all in, the sway bar links all in, and everything's nice and tight. So took care of that problem. So now I guess we'll get the wheels and tires on it, take it for a ride, and see how it is. So after taking the Jeep for a ride for a little bit, I'm on the freeway, I'm 65-ish miles an hour right now, and the Jeep going around corners, the sway bar links, I think, really improved the side-to-side sway that the car had, because there was a lot of play in those. And going around a corner right now and it feels good, but the steering still does not feel right. It seems like it takes me, you know, a couple seconds down the road to gather the thing back up. It just does not feel right. So I think in my next video, I'm going to change out the steering box to see if that doesn't help. In the past, I've tightened up the steering box a little bit and it did help, but I think the steering box is, you know, pretty much all worn out. Anyway, I'm Mike, and thanks for watching 33 Mile Garage.